come on. Oh man, dude. I don't know if the young people are ready for this one. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Kate Olaf and welcome to my channel. If you are a returning viewer, then I already know that you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Because if you haven't, then let me tell you a little story while you go ahead and do that. So this weekend I ran into an ex-subscriber who came up to me and basically said that they unsubscribed from my channel because they just simply didn't have the time to watch my videos. Now, I know that's a lie, and it's ironic because the topic of today's video falls right in line with what that person needed to hear. By the title, you already know that we are going to be discussing the biggest mistake that young people make. The biggest mistake that young people can make is simply not subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to be summarizing a video made by Robert Kiyosaki. If you don't know who he is, I really don't care because we are moving on. I'm just kidding. All you need to know is that Robert is a very wealthy businessman who has made his money by teaching people how to escape the rat race. Now, I'm going to go over quite a bit in this video, so make sure you stick around until the end. So, one of the first things that Robert goes over in the video is that young people make the mistake of believing that they have time. Some young people think that they don't have to be concerned with investing or learning how to manage their money because they think they'll just learn it in the future. Well, let me stop you right there and be really honest with y'all. If you can't discipline yourself enough right now to learn how to invest and save your money, you're probably never going to do it. In the video, he says that one of the greatest assets we have as young people is time. And an asset, for all those youngsters out there who don't know, is simply a useful or valuable thing. So basically what Robert is getting at is that all the foreseeable time that you have in the future is the most valuable thing that you possess. And this is probably the greatest point that Robert ever brings up in this video, because it's almost natural for young people to always want to live in the moment and never think about the future, especially when it comes to their money. One of the next topics in the video is the childish idea of, I want to do what I love. Uh-oh, that might have just turned some people off. This idea of doing what you love seems so relevant nowadays. And Robert's take is that if you want to work for the rest of your life doing what you love, whether that's being self-employed and having your own business or working for a big corporation, then go ahead, do what you love and see where it gets you. He then starts to go into say that instead of doing what you love, we need to be thinking bigger. Sometimes you have to do what you hate in order to get the assets that you love. For instance, say my dream was to be able to raise my kids without having to work. I loved the art of cooking, and so I had a career as a chef. So I worked my way up the ranks, cooking all the best food in the world, and before you know it, I'm the head chef at a 5-star restaurant. But I'm now older, and all my kids are off to college, and I really never got to experience their childhood. That was my dream, and I missed it because I had a love for cooking. So instead of this scenario, Robert suggests that there is a better way. Instead of focusing on becoming the head chef at some bougie 5-star restaurant, I actually created my own chef brand. And this brand organized hundreds of classes around the world teaching other chefs the best kitchen practices. I personally never have to go to a class or go to work because I created a business model that is self-sufficient and making money whether I'm there or not. I now own an asset that brings value to me and my family by allowing me to pursue my dream of being there for my kids in their childhood. Robert then asks a very powerful question that I think will probably change your mind when it comes to this idea. He asks, what do you love most? Your passion for a career or your freedom? Did that hit anyone else like it hit me, bruh? Whew. Yeah, we're not gonna go any further on that topic. The next part of the video is where Robert basically goes into that the richest people in the world own businesses and they are not self-employed. And there is a big difference. And actually, the main difference is that being self-employed means you are the business. Without you, the business would fail and you can't walk away from it for more than 2 days. Now, owning a business is different, being that it's self-sufficient. You don't need to be present in order for it to keep making money. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Jeff Bezos has to be at every Amazon warehouse in order for Amazon to keep running? Heck no. All Jeff needs to do is play with his rockets up in space while Amazon takes care of itself. And that is the difference between being self-employed and owning a business that Robert is trying to get young people to understand. And by owning a business, Jeff Bezos was able to accomplish his dream of going to space. Simply put, we as young people need to be thinking bigger. As always, here's the part where the rubber actually meets the road. Because let's be honest, if owning a business was easy, then everyone would do it. And the reason that people don't do it, according to Robert, is because that it is much higher risk and it takes a lot more education. He then goes into using businesses and real estate as an example, saying that owning a business and investing in real estate takes a lot more education and work than working the counter at a gas station. It is harder to start your own business than it is to work your comfortable 9-to-5 job. But that's why a majority of people don't start their own businesses, because it's hard and it takes failure in order to learn. Failure is uncomfortable, and people don't like to be uncomfortable. Robert talks about a story in this video where he wanted to learn something from a specific friend of his. I'm just gonna quicken up the story by saying on the phone, his friend told Robert that he had to fly to Peru within the next couple of days if he wanted to learn. Well, Robert was serious enough, so he packed his bags and he left that night. He ends up getting to Peru and stays for the next couple of days hanging out with his friend's colleague. When Robert gets back to the States, he ends up calling his friend back and says, "Man, there was nothing there for me to learn." And his friend said, "Well, I could have told you that. I just wanted to see if you were really willing to learn." And Robert tells this story in the video to basically point out the fact that many people don't have what it takes simply because they're not willing to learn. He then goes into different investments and different strategies over the next couple of minutes, but I think you get the point. But what really is the point? I mean, what's the biggest mistake? In one sentence, what's the biggest mistake that young people actually make? And here it is, the grand finale. This whole video production for one sentence of truth. And who would I be if I didn't, one last time, plug the like button and subscribe button? And thank you so much for doing that. So without further ado, what is the biggest mistake that young people make in one sentence? And that is they'd rather do what they love instead of invest in what they love. And that's it. So instead of doing what you love, thinking that you're gonna achieve some sort of financial freedom doing that, start thinking to yourself, how can I invest in what I love? Make sure to ask that questions to yourselves and comment down below what you are going to start investing in that you love. I'd be super interested to see what you guys have to say, and I'd love to help you guys out if I can in any way. So that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content, as well as tap the notification bell when you subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And if you don't follow me on my socials, you can find me at Kate Olaf everywhere. And as always, I'm Kate Olaf, and I will see you in the next one.